Welcome to the Mojo for Musicians podcast from Manny Cabo Media, where we dig deep into today's top strategies to help you take your music career to the next level, along with real, raw, and uplifting conversations with industry professionals that are making moves, making a difference, and making the best versions of themselves to inspire you to do the same. And if you have a voice with a powerful message to share with the world, then head on over to tinyurl/Mojo Official Discord for the best community of voices in the metaverse. Support for the Mojo for Musicians podcast comes from Stedman, tools for the studio and beyond, because your voice deserves to be heard. Sennheiser, inspired by music. And Cranium, scientifically designed products for bald, shaved, and buzzed heads. So get your head in the game and own your dome. And now, here's your host, Manny Cabo. All right, Mojo Maniac, what's going on? Another incredible episode of Mojo for Musicians, a source of inspiration for my ecosystem of artists. And today's a special one for me. I haven't talked to this guy. I can't even remember. It certainly has been a minute, probably about 3 or 4 years.
It's been
yeah, I know. And you can hear him in the background. I'm going to have this on YouTube as well. So you can see he's a pretty boy, but an amazingly talented dude. Let's bring to the stage El Señor Santino, or Misfit, however we want to call you. Talk to me, brother. How the hell are you, man?
I'm good, man. How about you?
I'm good, bro. I'm living. You know, it's been a rough year. I'm not going to lie. I don't want to quench this show with hardship, because that's all it's been. I'm just grateful to be here. Just in a nutshell, lost my dad to COVID, lost my father-in-law to COVID. This whole thing was inundated in 14 feet of water with Hurricane Ida. So needless to say, yeah, I've been rebuilding for 8 months, but
yeah,
it sure as hell.
It sounds like easy going, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Talking about just
butter.
Light work.
Light work. But it's so good to see you, man. It's been ages. I remember the last time. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. The last time I saw you, I think I was doing a photography seminar for Tamarack, and I asked you to model. I was doing a photo shoot pseudo for artists, and you showed up like a champ, man, all dressed up, ready to rock. And then I think after that, it wasn't until a show I was photographing. I was actually there to photograph. I can't remember what band was there, but I was photographing you guys with Scarlett Carson.
Yep.
And that was a great time, too.
That was a long time ago, man. It was at least, like 2010?
Yeah, man, that's pretty
11?
scary. I don't know where the time went, but needless to say.
Man, it's a solid decade.
Right. But we're here. We're here. And I've seen you, man. I've been keeping up with you from a distance. You know, I've always been a big cheerleader. We're in the same community, right? So for me, it's always been love one another, support everyone else's projects, because we're all in this together, man. But there's a plethora of things that I could really cover. You've got I don't know if it was your directorial debut with the movie Bully. That hit home for me. That hit home because, you know, I've dealt with bullying. I had some award-winning songs on bullying. So believe me, we're here on that. So I definitely want to get into that. Your last song,
award-winning songs. I definitely a lot of experience in that area.
Right,
as well.
man. So you know, I completely empathize with that. And that's something. It's a toxic narrative. So I'm really happy that you're shedding light on that, and you're doing it in such a grandiose way. I mean, you had oh my God, Danny Trejo. For me, that's he's like the utility guy in films. He's been in everything, man. With Con Air, right? Dust Till Dawn, Desperado, Machete. He's been in everything.
All over the place, man. Even Spy Kids.
Right? Right?
Danny is in everything. He's just one of those guys that's just been around, and once he started kind of grinding through, he's relentless. He's the nicest guy.
So don't talk to me. I want to get into that. You know, I'm slowly going to get into. Obviously, we talked about the pandemic. How was it for you, man? I don't want to shed light on this like I alluded to before, but how did you make the transitions? A lot happened during that time, and you know, you're like me. You're a live guy. You love embracing and engaging with the audiences, and then all of a sudden, done. How did it impact you on a personal and financial level?
Across the board. I can't really complain because so many people had it so much worse.
Yeah.
But I'll just say it was a transitional situation. You know, it was one of those moments where you gotta really get perspective on a lot of things.
Sure.
And kind of lets you sit back and figure out what what you want to make sure you keep by any means in some way, even if it has to be modified. And for me, that was interacting with people. Like you said, like we're live people. I like being on stage. I'm a social animal.
Yeah.
You know,
you're a butterfly, bro. You're like me. I talk to anything, man. I talk to a corpse if I could.
Yeah. That's what we did. So, I mean, not long into it, my buddy Dane and I, we started a podcast, and like everyone else did during the pandemic, but for us, it was just kind of just a way to hang out, even if it wasn't in person. We just would meet once a week, broadcast it live. We didn't do a pre-recorded thing. We wanted, some of fans, people.
Well, I wanted to get into that, bro. What is it? The Failure Made Monsters, right? If I'm not mistaken. Failure Made Monsters, yeah. So how the hell did you ideate that? Not that it surprises me, man, because you and I were the same. We're eclectic. We're out there. We're very boisterous. So how did you ideate that name, man? And you guys are like, talk about birds that flock together, right?
Oh yeah, I love Dane, man. That's my boy.
Talk to me, man. How'd you guys meet? How did you ideate that? And where you are today with that?
Yeah. So Dane and I actually met at a show. He was on stage opening a show when I walked in.
He's a beast. He's a good artist. I love his look, his vibe. Yeah.
Oh, he's an absolute beast. Yeah, he's a beast, man. Such a good soul too. Yeah. But he's got that wild energy that I just gravitate towards, especially when it comes to a performer.
Sure.
He hopped off stage and was running into the crowd and stuff, which is something I've been doing since I was a kid, just kind of going a little crazy. And I was like, well, I need to know who this guy is. And we were pretty fast friends, but we didn't hang out a lot. Ran in different circles. And then during the pandemic, I had been working towards maybe working with him on something musically. And because the world came to a screeching halt, that obviously didn't happen. And we started figuring out a way to do it remotely. Yeah. And it actually just started as a musical project, Failure Made Monsters originally.
Oh, wow.
It was supposed to just be our kind of collaboration name. And then just kind of a promotional tool, and more just honestly, dude, just an excuse for him and I to hang out for an hour or so and drink with our friends over the internet.
But I love the name though, Failure Made Monsters. Like,
that's both of us. I mean, we're both, we've been around for a while, as you have, and we're not spring chickens anymore. And it's, I find that there's sort of this point in life, I guess, I want to say it feels like it's maybe around 30 that some people, a majority of people who you thought were long haulers will kind of fall off, and they, start doing the normie thing and living a normal life and house kids, regular job, yada, yada, and all that. Nothing wrong with that. To each their own, but it's not for me, not for him.
Not for me either,
we just kind of this repetitive thing of constantly doing and failing and doing and failing and doing and failing just sort of builds you into something.
Well, let's be realistic, man. If you're not failing, then you're not doing anything right. It's part of the process.
Well, you're not doing anything.
Exactly.
If you're not
exactly. So I'm right there with you.
Unless you're a damn savant,
Which I'm not. I don't.
No, me neither at all.
No.
Took me a long time to get decent. Never mind good.
Right. Well, at least you're decent. I'm still climbing that ladder of hierarchy, bro. I'm getting there.
That's
man.
it.
But
Stop.
dude, so you guys,
humble.
You guys have definitely made something great. The whole shot full of holes. Now, I definitely want to delve deep into that because, man, I got to tell you, I love the vibe, and you're spitting in it. You always had this powerful voice. And it's kind of like, I don't know, I want to see like Linkin Park meets Limp Bizkit, meets the Beastie Boys. There's a whole culmination of influences in there. How did that come up? Because I love the video too, that whole Grand Theft Auto. It's hilarious. You guys are like bopping up and down. Dude, that's genius. Whose idea was that?
That was mine. I had this crazy idea of making so that the song itself, not to completely bounce around too much, but the concept of the song itself came from I was out to dinner literally the weekend before LA shut down with a buddy of mine who he designs video games, and he works on some pretty big projects and stuff like Apex Legends and all that. And I had been talking to him about, hey, I'd love to. If you ever need any music for anything, like the stuff I'm making now, I think would be a good fit. That's how the concept of Shot Full of Holes came about, is because I'm a big gamer, and I was like, man, if I could make a song for that would kind of fit what Dane and I are doing conceptually, being a bit outspoken about social issues and all, but also something that could fit really cool in the background of a video game.
Yeah, dude, it's an epic song. I love the vibe. I could see that in every war video game and every like adolescent chaotic background scene type of game. It's perfect. So you definitely succeeded. at the task
Thank
at
you.
hand.
Yeah, man. So it was a short leap from, hey, what do we shoot for the video here, to let's make it look like a video game.
Yeah.
It just kind of, the challenge was, well, how the hell do we do that? But that's my favorite kind of project. It's like, I have no idea how to do it.
Like on the fly.
Yeah, just go, like, just figure it out, and then it's just problem solving, and that's why I love filmmaking and in general, and half the stuff that I do that's why I keep jumping genres too. I think it's like, I have no idea how to do that, so let's figure that out. And then once I figure it out, I think I start to get a little bored. But
let me ask you this: did you storyboard the video yourself? Because obviously you're great behind the camera. As a photographer myself, I completely feel you. When you have a vision, it's so much easier to just take on the project yourself, and sometimes it's difficult too because you can't let go of that baby. But did you have a lot to do with the production of that, the visual production?
Oh yeah, I directed, edited,
awesome.
wrote shot list, produced. I mean, pretty much everything except when I'm not on camera. I'm not holding the camera when I'm on camera.
Yeah.
Sorry. We had our buddy Slim. Slim to Reason was a big help. He was one of our camera ops for it, and then my wife, and that was it. It was just a 4-person crew: me, Dane, them two, running around LA like crazy people with our costume.
That's great.
And a little 360 cam to kind of give us that ultra wide field of view on a selfie stick, because the digital stabilization, and then some of the stuff you can do in post makes it, gives you that third person.
That must have been a great visual. You're dragging people out of the car. You're like, that's always a good spectacle.
That was so much fun. That's the one who gets dragged out of the car is Slim.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that was fun. Sorry,
poor guy. Yeah, it's always the camera crew that takes the takes the grunt of it all. But listen, at least you had somebody there. I mean, most shoots I have to be completely resourceful and do stuff myself because it's brutal
all the time.
Right.
All the time. Yeah. I mean, being the one man band, and especially when you're the artist too, that's how I that's where I thrive, man. Is just kind of make the makeshift music video thing. We actually shot Scarlett Carson. We did our first single and music video in almost a decade, and the song and everything had been done, but we didn't have a video for it when the world collapsed, and we were all locked down shooting remote. So we had to come up with an entire concept and game plan, and we shot an entire music video using iPhones remotely, and I was directing it from like an iPad in Tommy's garage at his house in New Jersey when I was here in LA.
It looks, and not to knock, because those things film in 4K. I mean, there's feature films that are filmed on an iPhone.
I've shot three music videos on
that's crazy.
iPhones.
Now you and Scarlett are back. I've seen you again. I've been keeping up with your threads. You guys are back in the grind with some music, right? Some new music coming out.
Yeah. Not full force like we were in the past, because we were all in it, and I'm in LA now, and they're all back in New Jersey. But we have a new song. Should be dropping this fall. We're doing another small show just kind of for the fans.
I saw that too.
Asbury Park, New Jersey, which we just announced last week.
I'll be there. I'll definitely be there. I got to catch you guys again and just
awesome,
reminisce.
Man. Yeah, please come out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be just a fun little just a small place, the Saint. I've been playing there since I was 13 years old. So
I played many a show there. It's about that big, maybe that big.
Yeah, we fully intend to sell that place out within like the next week or so. If it's not already, I haven't actually talked to the guys. So, it's not going to be a problem.
I'm sure you will. No, you guys had a great following back then, man.
Yeah.
And you always had a great show.
Our fans are awesome back in Jersey, man. They're just great. So it's been fun kind of jumping back into the rhythm of things with them, and getting back on stage at all has been nice.
I know we're shifting gears, full pun intended, but talk to me about Bully. That was fascinating to me because, I know you're a talented guy. And I know you have your hands in many, many cookie jars and wear many hats, but that's something that really hit home for me because it's a toxic narrative. And I think more awareness needs to be brought on that. So how did you ideate that and getting access to this cast and how long did it take you to write the story the whole night? I want to see the whole project. And I'm going to keep this show to like a half hour, but I know there's a lot to consolidate in there, but I definitely wanted to touch on that. Talk to me.
So Bully was actually written by my father, Joe Campanelli, and he and I produced the film together. It's both of our first features. We've never done a movie before. I've done music videos. My father's worked in front of the camera for years and years. He's on QVC and whatnot. So he's been doing that for a long time, and we had always talked about it. And I kind of had the audacity to think, after doing some music videos, that I could shoot an entire feature
I got
film.
this, Pop. I got this.
I mean, that's literally what it was. I mean, he had been so supportive of me and all the things I've wanted to do my whole life, and since I was a kid. I mean, he went to film school before I was even conceived. Wow. So it was something he always wanted to do and just never got around.
So that's a luxury in your pocket, bro. Wow, that's great.
So it was one of those things. It was like we wanted to do it, and I just kept pushing for years, pushing, and then eventually, so about a year right before we shot it, we did a like a concept reel, like a fake mock trailer for the movie with mostly different cast, a couple of people we brought back, and then a year later, I hit up a producer I'd worked with on a couple of music videos. Some of my first videos, Scott Hansen. He had shot a few indie films, and we were like, how do we do this? You know, how do we make this actually happen? And the Danny thing came up actually because Scott had worked with him on some music videos for one specifically, Maitland and the Sons of Disaster. He shot a video with Danny. I think he's worked with him a couple times, but yeah, we were just like, hey, he'd be great for this thing. Can we, you know, let's reach out to his representation. We had other great people on our team, our casting director, some of the other producers we were working with, some friends of mine who were also working on films, like my buddy Kevin Interdonato, who just informed us and kind of gave us the back end of like how this actually works, because you think you know something. You think you know how to do something, then you ask people how to do it, then you learn another version of it, then you start doing it, realizing that you don't know anything, then you're figuring it out as you're going, and then it's not until after you're done with it that you start to have an idea of how to actually do the thing, even though you've already finished it. And then it takes a year or two of retrospect to sit there thinking about all the
dude,
crap.
you know Steven Spielberg till this day, he says, and I forget what article it was, he goes, I still come onto a set, I get terrified because I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. I'll walk into a set and have no idea. So believe me, you're not alone. So that's a good thing.
Oh yeah, I mean it's you know, it's the one thing about it. I get more nervous going on stage, I think, than I did, and that's something I'm comfortable doing. I didn't really get super nervous shooting the film. I didn't think I had time to be. It was just kind of chaos or just constant anyway, with all the things that could have gone wrong too during the production. Pre-production, during production, after production, the people we sold the movie to was, I mean, there's just so this episode's not long enough. 5 episodes of this aren't
I'm
long
sure,
enough.
dude. I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm actually going to do a whole series on it, kind of the making.
I was going to say, I hope you got some good behind the scenes footage, because dude, that's priceless. Down, you know.
As another prop, so we had a friend shoot it, and he shot more stills and snippets than he did consistent long takes. So not as much as we had hoped, unfortunately. So I'm going to kind of salvage what I can, and then I just want to share the experience. So yeah, we were talking to a bunch of different people, and you kind of figure out after all this chaos and whatnot that you want to tell the story after the fact, and then you look at the footage, you don't have it. So I'm actually just launched today. I put out a video on YouTube that is not a music video. It's not related to film or anything. It's actually kind of a how to start on YouTube video. I'm kind of want to start making more content that's more YouTube specific. Cool. And one of the things I plan to do is kind of pushing back on how Bully came about, all the trials and tribulations.
Yeah, of course. But those are the things that sell, brother. The stories, man. People connect to stories.
When I was trying to figure out how to make the movie, I went on YouTube, and you know, and that's where I learned so much. I mean, I was on set, and Ron Canada was asking people what film school I went to, which is incredibly flattering because he's a very accomplished actor, and I was YouTube University was like the running gag the whole time. That's how I learned how to make the movie, and just experience just being on set with other people and doing my own thing. So I was like, I want to contribute back to it, and I want to talk about it, and you know, there's a lot of resources from people on YouTube about their experiences, but I just don't think anything I watched before prepared me for that movie. And then beyond that too, I like talk about, you know, like we were talking about the concept of Bully, you know, that's obviously a really personal thing that I'd like to get into. And it's just a place to kind of speak about these things. And like your show, like what you're doing here, you know, being able to get into things beyond the music that we make and beyond the art that we create, and kind of a new angle, and let the personality show a little bit 100%. More, you know what I mean? Just,
people connect to the actual character, man. It's your personality. Like, I like you for you, man. I know you're talented as all hell and stuff, but
thanks, man.
You know, I get paid a lot of money for that. But seriously. But all kidding aside, and you know, you've always, with me anyway, you always came correct. You're always up front. You know, you showed up for me, and we always had this reciprocation between artists and stuff. But it doesn't surprise me that you've been successful in so many of your musical and artistic ventures. It is a lot of work. So give me a piece of advice.
I know you know.
Man, I'm always in the grind.
It's a lot of work, man.
Yeah, I'm always.
You're a lot like that too, man. You're all over the place as well. You got your hands in a lot of cookie jars. Not a lot of people say that. Not a lot of people can say that. Not a lot of people let me rephrase that. A lot of people say it, Not a lot of people do it. So to actually see the follow through, that's the thing that's always impressive, and that's where the respect comes from. Like, you know, photography, music, you're hustling, doing the show. I've obviously seen you with the voice and all. Like I think I saw in your profile too. You had a project on the Solana blockchain, which
I've got my own
awesome.
crypto right now, the Mojo coin.
Talk about that.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah.
So
which is awesome.
And I'll if you have a Solana wallet, man, I will gift you some coin. Believe me. And the utility that I'm creating around that is great. And again, just like your filmmaking, the whole process, I'm just delving in, gradually acquiring the knowledge, you know, creating a community, because it's almost like starting from scratch, because this is all Web3 based, where the whole Web2 mentality is no longer there. So now
No, Web3 will be, I agree. And the implications, especially for creators. And same thing when people always talk about NFTs, when they think it's just PFPs, like, you know, it's not just profile pictures, man. There's something extra to it. It's the layer of, for me, and this has always been the most enticing thing about the technology, is being able to hang on to your royalties forever for things that you create and track 100%. And not have to hand them over to somebody else. So I think there's something there. I understand the qualms that people have with blockchain technology in general, and a lot of the different, you know, applications it's being used for now, and some of the companies that are getting involved. But there are still some really good things. It's early days, man. It's like the internet in the 90s.
Exactly, man. It's everyone is still sleeping on it, and it doesn't matter. You can get in right now from the get-go and still be early on it. The thing is, there's a lot of FUD surrounding the crypto world and Web3 because nobody understands it. But once you're in it, you're like, dude, why wasn't I invested in this months ago? You know, and that's what's going to happen. So I'm happy I went on there early.
No one's saying that right now.
No. But you know what? I will tell you this.
No, not months ago.
I'm part of the Giraffe Tower, and we're not feeling the bear market at all. We're actually exponentially growing. So it depends on the community. It depends on how tight-knit your community. But without delving too much into that, definitely get a Solana wallet, and I will gift you some coin, brother.
I have one.
So then you know what? You send me a wallet address. I got you, brother. That's the last thing to worry about.
Sounds good.
But talk to me about things that you want to advertise right now. We're coming to the winter stages of this episode. So anything that you're working on right now, how do we get to know you? How do people tie in and get to know the real Santino or Misfit?
Sure. Yeah, sure. I mean, the easiest thing is going to be to stay tuned on my YouTube channel. You can just search Santino Campanelli, or it's youtube.com/c/Santino Campanelli, or the misfit.com with X's for eyes. So MSX, what is it? MXSFXT.com. The misfit.com. And it's honestly, just go on my Instagram too, same thing, or anywhere. But the YouTube channel, we're still working on the next film, which I can't talk too much about yet, but it's in its script stage, it's pretty far along, and we want to get that going. I want to in the next year or so. The whole pandemic sort of slowed things down dramatically on that, obviously, as it did with a lot of other projects. Scarlett Carson has new music coming out, which is my hard rock band. My solo project, The Misfit, has new music coming out this year. I'm working with Dane on some stuff as well, which pretty much most of the stuff I do solo is going to be with Dane, so it's not really that solo.
It's like when you build a chemistry with somebody, it's like, of course I'm going to put him on.
I just love the guy, man. It's just so much fun to work with him.
I love people like that.
He's great. He's just one of my best friends now too. It's just been an awesome experience, top to bottom. We have the Failure Made Monsters podcast, which is on hiatus right now as I retool some things. I want to make some adjustments on there, which I think are going to be pretty cool. So stay tuned for that. That's Failure Made Monsters. And then my clothing company, which is everything to mainstreammisfits.shop. So this here, Never Trust shirt.
Love it.
And I got a whole line of new hoodies that just came out and all that stuff. So I'm all over the place. But the links to all of this stuff are at themisfit.com. So the MXSFXT.com.
I love it. So talk to me about your wife, because she's not English, and that's
she's super British.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Super British.
I did some short films, and I do tons of voiceovers, and that's one of my favorite accents to do. So, man, I that's my favorite people on the planet. I went down there a few times. Dude. Yeah. So talk to me, before we go, how's that relationship? Because sometimes it could be a little. I don't feel that with you guys. I see there's this amazing, this togetherness, this understanding.
I love my wife. Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, she seems it.
She's amazing. Yeah, I mean, we met through Instagram too, which most people don't know. She was living in Dubai when I met her, and she was working for a marketing agency out there. And we just started talking, and I don't know, man. Within a year or so, we were married.
You guys just hit it off, man.
Yeah, and that was 5 years ago. So
that's awesome.
We'll be married 5 years in August. I mean, she's out here. She's crushing it. She came out. She She was working for Netflix for a while. She's at Apple now. She's growing exponentially. She's just impresses me every day. Her work ethic is
good for you, bro.
Is insane. Yeah. So I mean, I guess we both have to be a little bit crazy to be happy together because we both need that.
I think so. I think what we do, I think it's actually imperative.
You need to understand that kind of mentality to be okay with it.
It's actually has to be part of your DNA if you're going to get along, if anything.
Agreed.
Well,
Agreed.
listen,
Totally
Santino,
agreed.
dude, I got nothing but love for you, man. Thank you so much for donating your time here. We have to do this again.
Thank you for having me.
Maybe, on your next feature film, which obviously you're working on right now. And then let's work on something together. Send me your Phantom wallet. We'll do this again without a doubt. And again, I wish you much abundance and success, brother. Without a doubt, I can guarantee I'll be at that show and see you guys again. Be looking forward to that.
Hey, man, let me know. You go, obviously, VIP list, man.
Listen, I don't mind paying, but I got to take care of you guys as well, man.
No. We take care
all
of it.
All right. Well, I will. We'll put me on the list. That's a given. You don't even have to ask me that.
Manny Cabo goes on the list. Come on.
You know who I am. They're like, yeah, back of the line there, ball guy.
Do you know who I am? Huh?
All right, brother. Love you, man. We'll talk real soon.
Love you too, man.
Be good.
Thank you so much for having me.
This has been a Mojo for Musicians podcast. If you're a musician, industry professional, or a voice with a powerful message and wanting to share your mojo and stories of success with our listeners, or simply share some feedback on today's episode, we'd love to hear from you. So send us an email at info@mannycabo.com. And don't forget to join the Mojoverse on Discord for the most powerful community of voices in the metaverse at tinyurl/Mojo Official Discord. Thanks for listening.